It really is huge, Sanji said, taking out a cigarette. Zeph stood next to him, nodding. It's said to be unsinkable. Truly wonderful, isn't it? Sanji shrugged at his fodder. He didn't care. Zeph told the driver to take the baggage to the back of the ship. Sanji tossed his finished cigarette butt to the ground, stomping it out. Ace, you're gambling our money away? Zoro snapped. He had lost his friend and the youngest of the group, and his money, so looking for them, he found them in a bar with all their cash on the table. What was the pyromaniac thinking? They're poor as it is. Ace gave him a smirk. Yeah, for 2 tickets on the Titanic? Come on, Zoro, I got this, he said. Zoro glared at him harder. The 2 guys who were in the game with Ace looked pretty confident. Ace, pull out now. We can't afford to lose what little we have left. Zoro, trust me. Ace, Zoro said in a warning tone. Luffy laughed next to Ace. Don't worry, Zoro, trust Big Brother, he told his green-haired friend. Seeing he wouldn't get through the brothers, Zoro took a seat on the other side of Luffy. Alright, men, show your hands, Ace said with a smirk. The 2 men showed their hands. Sorry, men, Zoro was about ready to jump over Luffy to strangle the older brother when Ace's chuckle stopped him. But I have the winning hand. Ace drew his hand down, revealing his cards. 4 aces. Woohoo! Luffy cheered, jumping out of his seat with Ace. Zoro stared in shock, but he really should have seen that coming. It is Ace, after all. Ace reached to grab the tickets when one of the men grabbed his wrist. You cheated, he said. Zoro gripped the hilt of his sword, ready to fight if it comes to it. How could I? You were watching me the whole time, right? Ace questioned. The man's friend made him let go of Ace's wrist. He is right. Ace and Luffy continued to cheer with Zoro smirking. Hey, if you're boarding Titanic, you better get going. It leaves in 10 minutes, the bartender said. Ace swore, putting the rest of their winnings in his bag and running out with Zoro. Wait, you only got 2 tickets, Zoro shouted over the crowd they were trying to get through. Ace nodded. Yeah, and? He asked, jumping over a barrel. What about Luffy? He'll be fine. Now come on, or none of us will board, Ace shouted. Sanji looked over the ship's railing at the people waving goodbye to loved ones. He chuckled at a couple of guys shouting for them to wait as they ran up to the ship. What he noticed the most was one of them has green hair. Odd, he thought. He tapped the ashes from his cigarette into the water, feeling the ship start to move. He looked to his right, seeing the 2 guys from moments ago were a few feet away from him, shouting byes. Who are you saying bye to? Zoro asked Ace. Nobody. What? Ace laughed at his friend. Don't worry, it's just for the fun of it. Ace stopped when he heard a muffled laugh. When he looked to his left, he found a slim blonde covering his mouth with the back of his hand, glancing at them. Zoro noticed Ace suddenly stopped and looked to where he was looking, finding said blonde as well. Something funny? Zoro asked with a grin as Sanji blushed at being caught looking. No, I mean, my apologies, I shouldn't have been listening to you two, Sanji said, bowing his head. Ace laughed loudly, making people around him look at the trio. Don't worry about it. I'm Portuguese D8, and this is Roro no Zoro. Black Lake Sanji. Him and Ace shook hands, but when Sanji got to Zoro, the 2 just stared at each other. Sanji, come on, Zeph called his son. Sanji was the one to break eye contact. Bye, he muttered. Zoro watched the blonde weave through the crowd with ease, then disappeared behind some doors. The rest of Sanji's day went by with him putting up new paintings that his father had got him before their leave and trying out new recipes he thought of. Perfect. I think I'll take some up for the ladies here, Sanji said. Sanji, I'll be gone for a bit. I'll meet you at the dinner party, Zeph said in the doorway. Sanji looked at him confused. What could he have to do? What are you doing? He asked. Just meeting with someone. That is it, Zeph insisted. Knowing he wanted to get more than that, Sanji nodded in understanding. Okay, see you tonight. With that, Zeph left. Sanji began thinking about how boring the dinner party would be. Even if there's going to be plenty of beautiful girls there, most of them are too stuck up and snotty for his taste. He prefers them to be well-mannered, yes, but doesn't just care about money and who's sleeping with whom. Crap, his thoughts suddenly went to her certain green hair Marimo from earlier. I wonder what he's up to. Wait, why do I care? He was interesting to say the least, I guess. In the room, Zoro was trying to get some sleep, but Ace seemed kinda on the nervous side. What's wrong, Portuguese? He asked. Ace looked at him with a fake smile. Nothing, he replied. Zoro knew all too well just how fake that smile was, but it probably had something to do with leaving his baby brother behind. Wishing he had jumped into a rush and left Luffy behind? Zoro asked. Ace chuckled nervously. Well, it has something to do with him, he continued to nervously chuckle. When Zoro was about to ask what he meant, a shout above interrupted him. Wow, this place is so big! You didn't, Zoro said, turning to Ace. Ace sighed. He was supposed to wait another hour, that idiot, he muttered. The 2 ran upstairs, dodging other passengers along the way, shouting sorry to each one they almost hit. Luffy had his legs wrapped around the railing, hanging upside down on the upper level when Ace and Zoro found him. "Luffy, get down here!" Zoro shouted. Luffy laughed loudly before releasing his legs, falling headfirst, giving a few people the shock of their lives, and landing perfectly on his feet. "Isn't this place cool?" he asked. Ace nodded and then hit the youngest over the head. "Baka, I told you to wait until I go get you," he scolded. Zoro was rubbing his temples, feeling a headache that he only gets when he is with the two in front of him. He chuckled. Earlier, Ace had said this place would be the best for peace. Yeah, right. He really laughs at that now. What was he thinking? With even one deep boy, it wouldn't be peaceful. "How did he get here?" Zoro finally asked, stopping the bickering brothers' rant. "I snuck on board," Luffy whispered. Zoro made a face that said he should have known. No wonder Ace had no problem leaving like they did. They had it all planned out. They may not look it, but when those two want something, they make a plan totally simple or totally something you wouldn't think they would do. But sneaking on is something they would do so. "Were you going to share this with me?" Zoro asked. Ace shrugged. "I thought surprising you would be better." "Yes, I'm real surprised." "Oh, come on, Zoro. You know you wouldn't have fun if he wasn't here. Not the point." "Then what is? I should have known in the first place." Luffy looked back and forth with them until he got bored and went to find something better to do. The older two didn't notice the youngest's disappearance at all until again they heard him shouting, "I'm king of the world!" Luffy at the front of the ship, standing on the railing, arms out, and the wind blowing his hair, shouting the same thing over and over again. Zoro face-palmed himself. Really? He had to get new friends. Ace, on the other hand, grinned and ran up to his brother on the railing doing the same. "I'm king of the ocean!" The two laughed, making Zoro with them. Really, he should learn to be more like them. On the carefree side, that is. Sitting on the floor, Zoro watched the two having the time of their lives from what it looks like to him. "The ship of dreams, huh?" he whispered to himself. Luffy grinned at his brother, whom grinned back. "This is going to be the best days of our lives, huh, Ace?" Luffy asked, with such a bright smile that made Ace's heart melt. "Of course, Lu." Ace felt tears kiss him, but he wanted, 'cause he was his brother, by blood. He was a boy too. Well, he didn't care so much about that, but he'll just go with it. Ace only blinked and Luffy was gone. He searched for him, but only found a sleeping Zoro. "Crap. What?" Zoro asked, waking up. He only slept for, what, a minute? And something has already gone wrong? "Luffy disappeared," said Ace, walking past his friend. The two started their search for Luffy with the bottom deck, and then the upper one. He couldn't have gotten too far, right? Wrong. When they found him, he was looking over the railing on the bottom deck. Again, but way out, almost more than half his body hanging off the side. "Cool, look at all the waves," he said. His foot slipped off the railing, making him lose his balance and going over the ship. "Luffy!" Ace and Zoro shouted, shoving people out of the way and jumping off the upper deck to the lower one. "I assume he belongs to you, then?" Sanji asked, with his foot tucked into Luffy's shirt, keeping him from going overboard, and a cigarette in his mouth. Ace fell to his knees, breathing heavily, but not from the run, but the fear of losing his brother. Really, if he loses him, he wouldn't know what to do. Zoro looked indifferent at Luffy and Sanji, but really, he was impressed with the blonde. Sanji tossed his butt over the railing and swung his leg up, making Luffy fly and land behind him. "Ow. That was so cool," said Luffy, recovering easily. Sanji shook his head at the kid. "Be careful, okay?" he said. He was about to pounce on Sanji, demanding he be his friend, when Ace tackled him in a hug. "Luffy, you have me scared to death," he whined. "Sorry, Ace, I'm just so excited." "Well, don't," Ace snapped. "Thank you for saving him," Zoro said after a while. Sanji nodded, feeling happy when Zoro thanked him. "It was nothing. Couldn't let someone die on the first day, right?" "Ace, get off!" Luffy whined. "Nope." "See you around," Sanji said after nothing but staring at the green-haired man. Zoro nodded. "Yeah," he said, watching the blonde walk away. Ace just so happened to look up at this moment, taking notice to the green-haired man's stare. He recognized it. It was the same he always gave Luffy. "Don't bother," he said with little emotion. Zoro glanced over at him, but quickly turned back to watch the blonde talk to different people. "Zoro, he's in the highest class on the ship, and we are the lowest. It'll hurt in the end, Zoro." "I don't know what you're talking about, Ace," Zoro replied, still watching Sanji as he started to go through some doors. Before he did, though, he stopped and looked back, meeting Zoro's eyes. Ace didn't miss it. He shook his head. What was his friend getting himself into? Sanji lightly blushed and ran his side completely. "You do, Zoro. I don't want you hurting when Titanic docks in America." Zoro shook his head. "Nothing's going to happen." With that said, Zoro walked off, leaving a sighing Ace behind. "Ace, what's going on?" Luffy asked, confused. Ace shook his head. "Nothing we need to worry ourselves with just yet, Luffy," he told the younger. Luffy nodded him.